Want to be featured on the Rock Metal Podcast just like all the other great bands you've heard up to this point? Go ahead and hit me up, therockmetalpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know. Let's work out the deets. The Rock Metal Podcast, episode 44 with Ubiquitous. All right, Rock Metal Nation, I've got on the line today Ubiquitous, an alternative heavy metal band from San Antonio, Texas, and I'm super stoked to have them on. Kind of a special twist is that today I'm joined by Trey, member of Ubiquitous, who is also in Count Your Dead. If you recall, Count Your Dead was on the Rock Metal Podcast in episode 34 that came out on January 25th of this year, so January 25th, 2017. So if you want to go ahead and catch back to that, go ahead and go to the rockmetalpodcast.ca, look for episode 34, and you can hear Trey talking about Count Your Dead. Now we're going to be talking about, because he's a multi-talented man, very handsome, very good-looking, very well-hung, multi-talented, and now we're going to be talking about another project that he's in, Ubiquitous. So Trey, welcome to the show once again, sir.
What an introduction. Thank you, sir. Glad to be here. Wow. I was trying to keep a straight face during that.
Good.
Wow.
Fantastic. All right, so, because fantastic is a real word. It's funny, I get told on a regular basis, you've got some really good dad jokes. Like, well, I'm a dad, so I would hope so. I've got some good dad jokes.
Hey, I enjoy a good dad joke. I don't see the problem with them. I mean, I think they're funny for the most part, so I don't have a problem with them.
Fantastic. So we won't bore the audience with like what got you inspired in music and things like that, unless, of course, the inspiration behind what caused you to start a different musical endeavor is worth getting into. But mostly, I'll just let you take it away from here. So you're in Count Your Dead, you're in Ubiquitous. Today we're talking about Ubiquitous. What is the inspiration behind starting a new project?
It kind of just happened organically, really. That kind of happened right around 2010, I want to say. Prior to joining Count Your Dead, I was in another band, as I've mentioned before, and we actually shared the same rehearsal spot that Count Your Dead had because of Jonathan, naturally. Jonathan kind of is connected to all of this in a really weird, twisted way, which is really cool, but he is, because he's really involved with the Ubiquitous project as well. But him and Sam, the other half of Ubiquitous, they actually met way before I did. Way before I met Sam, of course. So they would get together, they would jam, they would do a bunch of demos and all of that stuff. So whenever we would come in to practice, they would just be getting done. So I would always kind of just miss them. Well, one day he ends up, joining our rehearsal, and he jumps on the drums, and I mean, he kills it. Like, he's amazing. Like, he was so good. I mean, he clicked with everyone. He always can click with, anyone that he plays with. And then shortly after that, a few days later, me, Jonathan, and Sam actually all got together, kind of just hung out as friends, and we ended up actually recording, I want to say, 7 songs back to back within the span of 6 or 7 hours. And it was kind of crazy, but that was actually what really created that project. And I mean, it wasn't really anything that we intended to happen. It just kind of, happened the way it did. But, over the years, we've kind of gone on, certain hiatuses from the group just because I've moved, he's moved, to many different places. So the project has kind of, taken a good thorough break, here and there. And we're actually kind of on a hiatus once again, but I feel like this time around we have a whole lot more to show for it. We've recorded so much more material within the past 2 years, more than I think we've ever done. And we actually have a lot of material to work with. So I'm just really excited just to get a chance to show it to everyone. We just put out a new EP of Consciousness and Conditioning. We've been working on it for a long time, and we finally got around to finishing it. And following that, we'll have a 2-part album coming out, B-sides and rarities. We have about at least 50 songs worth to choose from, so we have a good variety. So we're just gonna pick the best ones, and then we'll present it whenever everyone is ready. But that's I guess in a nutshell, that's kind of the history of Ubiquitous.
Wow. So yeah, that definitely covers a lot of the questions that I was going to ask you. Like, hey, how'd you guys meet each other? What was the story behind the whole thing? The one thing that we didn't touch on is what inspired the name Ubiquitous.
Sam actually came up with Ubiquitous. I think the idea behind it was going to be the one serious thing about us, because in the beginning, whenever we first started writing songs together, we always wrote like really ridiculous song titles. Like we had like the dumbest, corniest song titles, because we didn't always really take ourselves seriously, because we were, we always goofed around a lot. I mean, every time we got together, we always goofed off all the time, just laughing like at our own jokes. And, we're those kind of guys, we have inside jokes with each other and we're kind of lame, but, we always just goof around. So we always goofed around with, the song titles and the concepts. So Ubiquitous was kind of like supposed to sort of be the counterpart of all that. It was supposed to be like the thing that represented what we were all about. I don't know exactly where he came up with the name, but the meaning of Ubiquitous, I think, was kind of coincided with the way we felt about our art and about our music. We had a really deep connection with it. Over the years, I mean, this was all we ever wanted to do. And for the longest time, Sam actually really struggled with it, because whenever he moved away from his friends and all of that, he didn't really have anyone to work with, to jam with or whatever. And he always wrote like a special type of way, I thought, like very unique. And I always wanted to work with him because of that. So I always told him, whatever way I can, whatever way I can help you, whatever way I can get this material out for you, man, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure that people hear you. I'm going to make sure that we get this out, because we always believed in this music. So it was just a matter of getting it out there. But sorry for going off on that. But yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell where that came from as well.
Cool. Now, obviously, you touched base on this before with Count Your Dead. I'm curious, when you get together to write songs with Ubiquitous, is it a different process?
Yeah, it actually was very different, because at the time I was going to school in San Antonio. I was going to the Community of Music Industry and Arts, the Chris Leak Studios. So I was going over there every Friday. So every Friday after class, I would go over to Sam's, and I would just spend the rest of the day there just working on music with him. And in the beginning, it was a little different, because I had the laptop and we didn't actually have a drum set. So all of the drums that we did were programmed off of FL Studio. So that was how we did the first batch of demos that we did. So we had a PA system hooked up to the laptop, of course. I programmed the beats, and then we had the PreSonus interface. So from there, we just threw it in Studio One. He would track bass, guitar, vocals, and that was kind of how we started doing demoing. And then shortly after that, he ended up buying a drum set, and at the time we only had the two mic inputs, so we would just mic the kick and the overheads or whatever, and that was pretty much how we did all of our demos. And over the course of those 2 years, it was a lot of like trial and error. We experimented around a lot. We didn't record in the same room twice. Like, we recorded everywhere. We recorded in the dining room, in the kitchen, in his bedroom, in the other bedroom, in the bathroom, in the living room, just anywhere we could really think of.
Sounds like a new girlfriend.
It kind of was, but this was the thing. I've mentioned this on our YouTube videos, because I've done a couple of videos trying to explain the story of us and all that. Working with Sam is like a blessing and a curse, because he can generate so many ideas so quickly, so fluently and naturally. But there's also times when he's got like an ADD like thing about him. Like, he can't stay on the same song for too long. Like, if he gets stuck and he starts thinking of another riff or another part, he'll just want to completely start over from scratch and go in this new direction with this song, and that's fine. But, after 3 or 4 hours and you're already on the 10th song, it's just like, dude, come on, pick something already. Like, just pick one and stick with it, like that kind of thing. But it was always a good problem to have because he's just so talented. I mean, he can really do it all. He really can. Like, all he really needs is just the right equipment and just to play in front of the right people, and he's going to be able to go places for sure.
All right, let's go ahead and listen to the first track, No Place Like Home. Okay, coming back from No Place Like Home, what is the story and or inspiration behind that track?
No Place Like Home is actually probably the most darkest song we did. That one actually was based off of true events. The hometown, or the town that we used to live in, where we met each other and all that. There was actually an incident that went down there a while back, and without going too far into detail, it was real tragic. This man ended up murdering his whole family and, burning down the house that they live in and all that. And it was just really, horrible because, you hear about that stuff all the time on the news, but when it happens in, your own backyard, it kind of strikes a chord. And it was just really sad, man. Just seeing how many lives that devastated. And me personally, I didn't really know anyone involved, but I know Sam did, and he took it really hard. And I remember that particular Friday that I ended up going to San Antonio. We got together, and he was like, just kind of like ball of nerves, really. And he was just like, we got to come up with a song, man. We got to do something. Like, I got to get something out. And that was kind of the vibe that we had going in. And he just went in and just kind of spilled his guts, and it was kind of, how it came out. And the song title itself, I actually had that song title stored up for a while. I always have song titles floating around in my head. I always do. And whenever he needs a title, I just kind of pitch it to him. And that particular day, I don't know why, I was like, No Place Like Home. And he's like, dude, that's perfect. It makes perfect sense. It like totally fits with the song. And I didn't even mean for that to happen. But when it did, I was like, wow, like I really did. It's really ironic and kind of dark that it happened that way, but I think it kind of made that song even more special because of that. So
yeah, no, I agree with you, sir. Let's go ahead and listen to the next track, Circus Tent Revival. Okay, coming back from Circus Tent Revival, same question. What's the story and or inspiration behind Circus Tent Revival?
Circus Tent Revival was kind of a personal one as well. As far as the music aspect of it, that was probably the only song out of all of the songs that we did that was kind of improv, like on the spot, like every single time we did it, like every single take that we did. I really don't know why. I think Sam, I don't know if he intentionally meant for it to be like that, but that was just kind of how it happened. But every single time we recorded it, it was never done the same way. Like it was really weird. But when it came time to record that version, you know, like I tried to mention like, this is it. This is the final take, you know, whatever you want to do, man, this is it. And he's like, all right. And that was kind of how the thought process went behind that. But the meaning of it, I think it kind of ties in a little bit to the concept of the title of the EP. And that's kind of just the fact that society is kind of dictated by certain, you know, forms of religion, and all essence of it is just kind of like a freak show, just how everyone is reacting. You know, I mean, I always kind of reference George Carlin when it comes to this, because it's like, you know, we all got tickets to the freak show, and some of us are in the audience observing, just seeing, taking notes, and other people are part of the show, you know, and it's kind of like, what part do you play, kind of thing. So that was kind of the idea, the concept I had when it came time to write the lyrics. So it's kind of just like, I guess, like, you know, first person view, just you're there and you're witnessing all of this, and you're kind of just like, you're fed up with it, you're disgusted, you're a little angry. So that was kind of the idea behind that one.
What kind of exciting news do you guys have coming up for Rock Metal Nation to pay attention to?
We have a documentary coming out pretty soon. It'll be the making of Consciousness and Conditioning. We've already released a couple of videos on our YouTube. You can just check us out over there, youtube.com/ubiquitoustunes. we have a bunch of other videos, music videos back from all the recent years. One of the cool things that I really loved about this project was that we really did leave behind a lot of video footage from all the years, and because of that, it kind of gave me the incentive to get more into film editing and stuff like that. And now it's actually became something that I've really, really grown to love. And that was something that was never, I never intended to really get into. But thanks to this project, I have a newfound love because of that. So that's another reason I'm really grateful. But yeah, the YouTube is, just hit us up on that. We also have the B-Sides and Rarities album coming up pretty soon. I'm going to be releasing music videos and promotion of that because, again, we had so much footage. So we'll definitely be pulling out some pretty cool stuff. As far as new material goes, I really can't comment, I guess. That's more on Sam's part. If he decides to pick the project back up and do something new with it, I'm all for it. It's really in his hands now. But
okay, so definitely a lot going on there. Documentary. You mentioned obviously the album coming out. You also got the 2-part album of B-Sides and Rarities coming out. 50 different songs you guys got to choose from. You're picking the best ones. Now you mentioned YouTube is a source of finding information out about you guys. So my next question is that where Rock Metal Nation should go if they're definitely a newfound fan, or is there another website that they should go to find out more about you?
Yeah, I would say so. I feel like YouTube, we put a lot of hard work into the YouTube channel just to sort of try and tell the story. We documented the sessions from the beginning whenever we did the very first batch of songs that we did. After we went on hiatus, we did a 3-part episode video package of sort of trying to tell the story of filling the gap of what happened all those years ago and sort of explaining how we got back to where we are, and then followed up with pre-production and then the making of this new EP. So it's all kind of like in timeline form. So we worked really hard on it. So I think if anyone has any questions on how we got started or what we're about, or they just want to get to know us, I mean, that's probably the best place. Of course, you can hit us up on Facebook, Ubiquitous Music, on Twitter, same handle as well.
All right, very cool. So Rock Metal Nation, if you are definitely a newfound fan of Ubiquitous, go ahead and hit them up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Bandcamp, and you can definitely get some more information from there. Stay in the know. So Trey, unless there's anything else you wanted to throw out there, I just wanted to thank you for coming on to the show again, sharing your creativity and the multitudinous ways in which you are creative.
I really appreciate that. Again, thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure talking with you, John. To anyone who actually listened to Ubiquitous or took the time out to just tell us that you liked what we were doing, like that seriously meant the world to us. And we haven't forgotten that. So just anyone who listened or who cares, just thank you. Thank you for being a fan. Hopefully, this isn't goodbye. It's just see you later. So take care.
Alright, Rock Metal Nation, hopefully you just found your new favorite band in Ubiquitous. Big thanks again to them for coming on and sharing their music with us. Make sure to head over to www.therockmetalpodcast.ca to get all the information on the show you just heard today. And until then, rock on, Rock Metal Nation.